the Baltimore Ravens announced an hour early, as a matter of fact, that they had franchise tagged Lamar Jackson, and the key was how would they franchise tag them? And I'd been mentioning over the last week or so that if I were the Ravens, I would non-exclusive franchise tag him. What does that mean? That means that he can go seek a deal with any team in the NFL that wants his services and could be able to, if they sign him and the Ravens don't match the offer, they would be able to acquire Lamar Jackson for 2 first-round picks this year and next. And they could tell Lamar, you go find your deal. Don't take our word for it. You go find it. And that's what they did. They non-exclusive franchise tagged him. Now, the owner of the Ravens, Steve Bisciotti, put out, a statement talking about last year how much they love him. And we haven't heard much from him. We've heard from the coach, they love him. We've heard from the teammates, they love him. We've heard from the general manager, they love him. But not enough to give him the contract that he's apparently looking for, which is the Deshaun Watson, I want every penny guaranteed contract. Eric DeCosta, the general manager, saying in a statement that they haven't reached a long-term deal with Lamar. They'll use the franchise tag. There's many instances across the league and in Baltimore when a player has been designated with the franchise tag and signed a long-term deal that same year. We will continue to negotiate in good faith with Lamar and hopeful that we can strike a long-term deal that's fair to both Lamar and the Ravens. Our ultimate goal is to build a championship team with Lamar Jackson leading the way for many years to come. They have between now and middle of June to strike that deal. If they don't, then Lamar plays on the franchise tag unless he finds a deal with a team that has 2 first-round picks to offer in a row, in succession. We put a pin in that point for a moment. There's 2 ways to look at it. How in the world are the Ravens not coming to a deal with a guy who's a former MVP of this league, who's as good as he has shown? And a lot of people out there are saying as well, the fact that other teams out there have, in fact, not jumped already at the chance, but instead, as a matter of fact, on top of it, have come out when asked, I guess, by reporters, are you interested in Lamar Jackson? They've said no. Peter Schrager, my colleague from the NFL Network, Fox and Good Morning Football, within 5 minutes had a tweet saying that the Falcons are not interested. Mm-hmm. Lamar, as we all know, would be a rock star in the ATL. And they could use a quarterback, one would think. But the Falcons say no. Then J.J. Watt had a fascinating tweet, and I will read it to you. J.J. Watt came out, and he's confused. J.J. Watt said, why are all these teams so publicly, quote-unquote, out on Lamar Jackson, an MVP winner in his prime at the most important position in the entire NFL? What am I missing here? And RG3 and others are flat out accusing NFL owners without coming out and saying the word collusion of colluding. Because they don't want to pay any quarterback in the league in the manner in which the Browns decided to pay Deshaun Watson. And the Falcons have already, one would think, proven that because they were in on on Deshaun Watson with everything hanging over Deshaun Watson's livelihood and standing as a community member. They went out. They were in. And then all of a sudden, they were going to get him, and it was down to between the Falcons and the Saints, and the Browns were out. And then all of a sudden, the Browns are in and get him. Because they gave Watson a contract that no other owner in this league is willing to give anybody. Paying every single penny guaranteed to the tune of over $200 million, $230 million. Not willing to do it. You have to put a check in escrow for much of that money by league rules. Someone's going to have to cut a $200 million check for Lamar Jackson and put it into escrow. And on top of it, give up 2 first-round picks for a guy also, yes, 2019 MVP, has not finished the last 2 years healthy. You got to put it all out there. You're not just signing the 2019 MVP in 2023 fresh off of his MVP season. And you got to pay him a certain amount of money, and you got to guarantee it all, and you got to slice a big fat escrow check, and you got to cough up 2 firsts. Who out there's raising their hand saying, I'm willing? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.